In today's video, we'll discuss Court of Session. That is, it is the highest rung in the entire division. That is head of the division, Sessions division. That is the Court of Session. It is presided by Sessions Judge. We'll understand in detail the provisions relating to Court of Session. Section 9 of CrPc discusses Court of Session. Its establishment is under Section 9(1), that is established by state government. Section 1 says state government shall establish a court of session for every session division. Now, this is presided over by a judge which is appointed by the High Court. So there we see a straight separation of power. The provisions given in the CrPc itself, that establishment of the court is by state government, whereas appointment is by High Court. Just understand it in this term that a building is made by any builder, whereas the family comes and live in and they decorate their home. In the very same way, builder here is the state government. They have established the court of session, whereas it is the High Court which is filling the judges in it. That is, presiding officer, which is the session judge, will be appointed by the High Court. Understand that session judge is at the top of the rung of the judges. So we have session judge. He distributes business among assistant session judges too, amongst chief judicial magistrates. So this is how it all revolves the hierarchy. So we find the establishment of under subsection 3, you'll find additional session judges and assistant session judges. So these two are, we can say, additional session judges are on equal parallel level as the session judge, whereas the assistant session judge, this one, assistant session judge, he is in lower hierarchy to the session judge. So subsection 3 gives provision for appointment of additional session judges and assistant session judges. Let us understand it better with the help of this diagram once again, this flowchart. So we have under section 9(2) establishment of session judge, whereas under section 9(3) we have additional session judge, which is equal in rank to session judge, and 9(3) itself gives space for appointment of assistant session judge. This assistant session judge is lower in hierarchy than session judge and additional sessions judge. And the presiding officer of court of session is the sessions judge here, sessions judge. So we find that assistant session judges and assistant and additional session judges, both these exercise power of a court of session, but is not an independent court of session. Okay. So subsection 4 puts that the session judge of one session division can be appointed as an additional session judge of another division. So let us say we have a district inside which, a state inside which there are, let's suppose, two district D1 and D2. These two districts D1 and D2 are separate session divisions. So for district D1, session division D1, we have X as the session judge. Now this X, who is the session judge of division D1 inside state S, can be the additional session judge of another division D2 which is inside the state. So subsection 4 provides way for that session judge of one district can be additional session judge of another. Subsection 5 puts that in situation when the seat, the office of session judge is vacant, so then the High Court will make arrangement for disposal of urgent application which is made before court of session, and that will be undertaken by additional or assistant session judges. So when we have the seat of the session judge vacant, the work is done by the urgent work, the urgent application which has to be done by sessions court is undertaken by additional or assistant session judges. And again, if there are no additional or assistant session judges, then chief judicial magistrate. We'll understand the role, position and powers of chief judicial magistrate in the later videos. Subsection 6 puts that what we call the venue of trial. This is a very important subsection, but if you go through uh, the most standard books of CrPc also, you won't find this section be talked about in detail. However, this is a very practical and important subsection within quota session, because it talks about the venue of trial, and one important leading case law on subsection 9 section 9(6) is of the Kher Singh's case. So let us see what the section talks about. It says that the court of session shall ordinarily hold its sitting at such place or places as the high court may by notification specify, which means that court of session generally it hold its sitting in the district court, what we say the civil court, district court, kachari in local language. However, if in any particular case the court of session is of the opinion that it will be convenient for the parties and general for the parties and the witnesses, so in few of the cases the session court can hold it sitting at any other places in the session division. However, where court of session is of the opinion that uh, sitting is to be taken at any other place other than the session division where regularly the proceedings of the court goes on, in such cases consent of the prosecution and the accused is important here. So what happened in Kher Singh is the trial took place in the Tihar jail because of the convenience of the parties. Since Kher Singh was a much celebrated case, so there were a lot of threat in the trial, and the High Court decided that the entire trial will take place in the Tihar jail itself. So the venue of the trial was shifted from the regular sessions court to Tihar jail. Subsection 6 or section 9 discusses venue of trial. So all in all, from subsection 1 to 6, we see the powers of session judge, establishment of court of session, uh, appointment of additional session judges and assistant session judges. And in the next video, we'll discuss subordination of assistant session judge. Thank you very much.